everyone, and welcome to NERDGOBLIN Art. It's Froggy FriYAY, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different. This is cereal, and as long as I don't drop it, it's called s'mores. It's a s'mores cereal type thing. Now, a little bit inspired. It's Tim's fault from Base Resonator because he filled one of his Froggy molds with marshmallows. I'm doing it in two pours. But first of all, we're going to do his eyes, his little froggy eyes. These are the ones I picked out. I went for more of this colour because of the colour of the chocolate balls and the, whatever the other thing. They're probably made of like pure sugar. I don't know. But that's why I chose these colours. So I'm using J Diction UV resin just to get the eyes in place. And I've also, I use a pencil mark to give me the idea of the direction of the eyes. I know these eyes are a bit more circular, but they do have a little bit of a shape to them, and I didn't want them to look goofy, so I put a marking on the backs of them so I could figure out the best positioning. And it's just a good few minutes, good few moments. That's why I speed this part up with the UV light. So, Froggy Friday. It is a collaboration started by Karen from the Dragon's Cave and Lisa from Girl in the Garage. I myself have been joining in every single week for a good while now, as has Tim, the Base Resonator, and a few other regulars too. So it's great fun. If you fancy joining in, email either Karen or Lisa, and they'll sort you out. You don't have to be an established channel, you could just be starting out. Okay, I'm using Teexpert 1:1 resin today, and I'm going to be doing only so much resin because I'm only doing one pour. Words. I'm just going to be doing the cereal first, and then I'll be doing a back colour. So because it's under 8 fluid ounces, I am using my Isotoyo hand mixer. It just hurts my hand too much to be doing manual stirring with a small. I know it's a small amount, but this the Teexpert resin is a little bit thicker, so it's easier to use this. It helps by making sure well, it doesn't help, you need to make sure that you scrape the sides of your cup and the bottom just to ensure that you have mixed up your resin correctly, because there's nothing worse, there really is nothing worse than having like little striations in there. You can see it becomes a lot clearer. This is full of bubbles though, and it is going to be going into the debubbler. Now that's number 1 from the Intoresin non-sync glitter. Just wanted to give it a little bit of a sparkle along with the cereal, just for a little point of interest. I do love a sparkle. So stirring in that nicely, and you can see that I'm still going around the sides just to make sure it's all nicely mixed in. We don't want no bubble, no troubles. And you see I'm going slowly as well. I've already got a million billion bubbles anyway. But it's not as bad as it could be. So that is going to be popping in the debubbler. And it's back. So I can pre-spray the frog mould, and I'm going to put so much in, and I'll spray again with my isopropyl alcohol and use the heat gun. I'm going to put some music on for you now. I'm just going to be doing a combination of, you know, patting down, making sure, because the cereal is quite porous. You could potentially cover it, you know, in UV resin, but I'm too lazy to do that. So I'm just being a bit more careful. Enjoy some music.
Morning with a resin pond. My little green friends never steer me wrong, crafting their smiles from dawn till dusk. In a world of frogs I put my trust. Paintbrush dancing with a joyous spree, frogs on canvas looking back at me. With every stroke a life unfolds, in their tiny eyes a tale that's told. Froggy Friday, let's get creative. A world of frogs so bright, elative. Resin or clay, doesn't matter today. As long as I'm making frogs, I'll be okay. Air dry clay, a sculptor's dream. Frogs come to life, it would seem. Molding happiness in my hands, building little froggy lands. Clay dries out but joy remains, crafting frogs through sun and rain. Green little pals born every day, in my heart they always stay. Froggy Friday, let's get creative. A world of frogs so bright, elative. Resin or clay, doesn't matter today. As long as I'm making frogs, I'll be okay.
Well, that was a fun one, a nice new one. Okay, so you can see that, you know, I'm making sure that I'm getting it covered and removing any bubbles as they're coming up. The chocolate balls and the marshmallows, obviously they want to float, so I am trying to encourage them down using the squares. Hindsight is a wonderful thing, said many resin crafter. I do wonder if I had put some UV resin in first, with some of the marshmallows and the chocolate balls, just to keep them in place. You know, it's something worth considering again. Yeah, so I do wonder if that would have been a good idea. But we shall find out another time. I do wish, though, that I had put more of the chocolate balls in. I was a little bit wary because I wasn't sure if putting them in the resin would make them, you know, like Cocoa Pops, make the chocolate go brown. Chocolatey milk, yum yum yum. So I wasn't entirely sure if that was gonna happen. It didn't. It doesn't. You know, little spoiler there. It didn't. But so I do wish that I had put in more. So I'm happy with the amount. And I'm just making sure that I'm getting into the head area with the isopropyl alcohol. And I will keep an eye on this for a good few minutes. Those marshmallows really want to keep coming up, but it's okay, it's fine. So I have resin left over, so we're going to get some extras, and we love extras. We love extras. I always end up doing too much, don't I? It's like a talent. Even though I know. This is just one of the, a little like trinket pot. I've had it for ages but haven't yet poured it. It's I believe it's from Temu. If I can find the link, I will, of course, share it in the description, but it's not always possible. So that resin just has some glitter in it, but I've got some new alcohol inks that I want to have a little play with. There's not enough of that resin for the lid, so I will be making some more off camera, and I'll come back to you with the resin ready for going in the lid. It is, of course, about the Froggo, but I know you like to see extras. So there we go. You can't quite see the glittering. I didn't turn my light on, actually, while I was making this. It was daytime. I didn't see the point. But looking at it now, I kind of wish that I did. But it would have picked up the glitter more, I think. And I was just making sure, the last little bit of glitter left in that cup, I was just making sure that, excuse me, a little froggy in my throat. How ironic. So I was just making sure that the cereal was fully covered, because I know some of it's going to bob up. So at least it's got a covering. So I'm going to make more, because there's a lid that comes with that little trinket pot. So excuse me again, I'll link these alcohol inks in my description box. I'm practically nearly out of my Let's Resin stuff, and I was just nosing on Amazon and these came up. So they had, you know, good reviews. And I thought, well, why not? You know, it's good to try different things. And I believe it was only around £20 for like 36 colours. And that includes metallics and sinkers. And like you saw that pink, that is bright pink. I thought I would try putting in colours first into the nib, but it didn't work anyway. It all popped back out. And I wish I hadn't added the green. I don't know why I added green with pink and purple, but I don't do that in the base of the jar. Excuse the bottom. So once again, using the isopropyl alcohol and the heat gun, and just making sure that I am going around. Now, I am going to use it's called Deep White in this set, and then you get like a bottle of, I believe it's called like normal white, so I think it's just white, but the deeper white I was assuming was similar to a sinker. I wasn't doing like the usual Daniel Cooper technique. I added it all, like the white and the swirl, straight away, because I wasn't expecting, I don't even know what I was expecting, but it was fun. It was just fun. I enjoyed just having a little play with this. I just had the mould sitting on my desk for a few days, waiting in the wings for any extras. And of course, as well, this lid has like a ball, like a glass ball end. So before I remembered to turn the camera on, I did actually give it a little squeeze and I made sure any bubbles came up to release. I really wish I hadn't have added that green. But there we go. So just plonked in a bunch of the white. And as I say, I'm not going to do the weighting, because I really wasn't sure what to expect. So just give it a swirl, just like that. And that can cure. So the first layer is nicely cured. I've got my resin made up, and I'm using Let's Resin White, and I've got number 10 from the non-sink glitter from Intoresin. My thought was it's going to look like milk, you know, because it is cereal. It is a s'mores cereal. Like I said, it's just Tim made me think about it when he put marshmallows in, and I remembered this cereal is one of my son's favourites at the moment. I remembered that there were like marshmallows and stuff in it. I just thought it would be fun. Only pinched a little bit as well. It didn't take much. So making sure that that mica powder is stirred in well, because you don't want any little powder pieces, because that can cause bubbles. And we don't want bubbles. No stinking bubbles. We don't like them. Awful nasty things. So, and I'm making sure getting around the sides as well. And then adding in the number 10 from Intoresin. It's just a white one. I just thought it would complement the white very well. And again, we like glitter. I didn't actually need as much resin as I made it, because I don't know what gets into my head. I do it every time I'm pouring this mould, especially when I'm doing it in 2 parts. I always make too much up, because there's more in a cup to the side that I hadn't mixed in with white, just in case. But, you know. So spray that with some isopropyl alcohol, because that cereal is all covered in resin. So I'm going to start with the toes. I think this is the first time doing one of these frogs that I've not put any colour whatsoever. No, you know, no pigment powders, no micro powder, nothing in the feet. No, I'm just going straight for the white. I don't know why, it made me a little bit nervous. But it's just a bit of fun. I like that the frog is a cereal frog. He's a serial killer frog. No, he's not really. He's lovely. He's a joy. So I'm just making sure that the resin is going down to where it needs to be. Had I thought about it, I probably should have poured it in there first at an angle, just because it's so, you know, it's like quite knobbly where the cereal has come to rest, because you can see that some of the cereal can't be covered because it is sticking up far. So, yeah, but it is what it is, and it can be nicely controlled. There we go. And always remember with the Froggo, the bubbles like to hide under his chin. So use what you got. Use your dotting tool or silicone tool. And as you can see there, I'm concentrating my heat gun under by the chin as well. And see the bubbles. And there we go. I can see just making my way around anything I missed, or if I went slightly over. It just makes the job easier when you demould. You know, if you've noticed you've put a little bit too much in by the feet, rather than messing about with having to deburr, it's always a good idea to tidy it up. Just making sure, like, is there plenty in there? There we go, see? And no worries about that pink staining, it doesn't come off with the, it's just where it's stained. The pinks are terrible for staining. It's also got a burn mark in it where it went on fire once. Be careful with stuff like that. So if you're spraying with isopropyl alcohol and using a long neck lighter, just make sure that it's settled, your isopropyl alcohol, because you will get flames. Right, this is now cured, but we'll open this one first. Isn't that pink? I mean, wow. It's like more like a neon pink. I think the bottle said rose pink, sorry, but it's very nice. I quite like it. We'll have another look now, just while I put my So yes, you see it is, you've got a little bit of peat tree going on there, tiny little bit. So this is where I mean by I wish I hadn't put the green in. It would have been a lot nicer, but I still like it, kind of. But that's fine. I wasn't making this for anyone in particular. Just, you know, it's handy for me, myself, and I. I could even put a battery candle in there, or I'm gonna use it. Oh, there's a little trinket jar, isn't it? You can put cotton balls in there on a dressing table. I quite like it. I don't mind. I do wish, obviously, that it was like, but there's no bubbles. That's one thing. There are no bubbles. So, unmoulding of the Froggo. Now, I always find it easier with this mould if the legs are still, if the toes are still slightly soft. And I always use my dotting tool because I don't have long nails. But with this mould, if you release all the toes first and then do what I'm doing there, just pulling out, you know, round the bottom of the neck, then you pull from the hips, just like this, ready, pop. And then you can turn it over, or you can have it either way you want to have it. And it just pulls off like that. Really easy. A little bit, only a little bit of overture there. But I don't think he's terrible. And his eyes are in the same. You know, this is the first time one of my frog's eyes didn't pop out. Because usually I have to redo at least an eye, don't I? Yes, there's some bubbles in there, but I don't care. I'm not giving this guy away. He's gonna be sitting in my kitchen on the shelf. I really like him filled with cereal. And my son, he's 14 going on 15. He thought it was hilarious because it is currently his favourite cereal. So that's really cool. But you can see what I mean by I wish I had put more of the chocolate balls in there. But I like it, and it's a nice sparkle as well. I know the camera's not picking up on it of much of the sparkle. It's not too much, which I prefer, but you will see in the glamour shots at the end. I quite like it. I'm not sure what it reminds me of. It reminds me of, I don't know, my jar, but I also poured out other extras. So I thought I'd surprise you. With the white, I just added in, I stirred in some rose gold, and I got a little turtle. You know I love my little turtle. And I just did a little pendant. I'll use it for something at some point. But it's really lovely. You'll see in the pictures at the end the like marble effect that it gave. And I also poured another moomin. Just because I just thought a pinky one would look cool. But this one did, unfortunately, have quite a few little bubbles, little micro bubbles in it. But I wasn't pouring it for anyone or anything in particular. I was pouring him to sit on my shelf. So I'm just I'll colour his eyes later. So I did a few little extras just because, as usual, I made too much resin. But I'm really, really pleased. I've never put foods. I know not everybody likes putting foods into resin, but I wanted to give it a try. It was just interesting. So, really lovely, little froggy. Thank you for watching. Please check out the other collaborations. Love you and stay weird.
Nerd Goblin art draws a magic world with foxes that prance and badgers that dance. A whirlwind of dreams with a single glance. Gerald the alligator grins so wide. In enchanted waters he loves to hide.
Dragons breathe wonder with flames so bright, each creature born from a magic night. Nerd Goblin paints life in every brush, animals frolic in a vibrant rush. From canvases to tales they leap, in a realm where fantasy meets deep. The studio's alive with swirling paint, creatures so pure they need no saint. Sketches of foxes with tails of light, badgers with moonlit fur in flight. Gerald floats in a stream of dreams, dragons shimmer with ethereal beams. Nerd Goblin's laughs fill the space, in every stroke there's a warm embrace. Nerd Goblin paints life in every brush, animals frolic in a vibrant rush. From canvases to tales